Hello and welcome to Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Today our focus is on the north-central part of the country. But before that, let's serve you with our top stories for the day. We start off from the courts, where Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court Abuja has declared as invalid the People's Democratic Party's primary election that produced Asue Ighodalo as its governorship candidate. The primary election conducted on February the 22nd this year was voided on the grounds that 378 delegates who were supposed to vote at the primary election were unlawfully excluded by the PDP. Justice Ekwo nullified the primary election while delivering judgment in a suit instituted by the aggrieved delegates. The suit was instituted by one Honorable Kelvin Mohammed in a representative capacity. Justice Ekwo held that both the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and the PDP guidelines were violated in the conduct of the primary election at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City. In reaction, the Edo State PDP campaign organization says the ruling of the Federal High Court Abuja did not invalidate the outcome of the party's primary election, which produced Asue Ighodalo and his running mate Osarodion Ogie as the party's flag bearers. The party described the judgment as a strange development and contrary to a long line of appellate court's decision on the subject. It describes the suit as one filed by some disgruntled persons who claimed that they were authentic delegates wrongly excluded from participating in the choice of the People's Democratic Party flag bearer in the forthcoming governorship elections in Edo State. A judge of the Upper Customary Court in Kaduna State, Mrs. Janet Gimba, who was kidnapped along with her 4 children by bandits, has been released, while 3 of her 4 children are still in the custody of the bandits. This was confirmed in a short statement by her husband, Dr. Musa Gimba, who said that the woman was released without her 3 children. It disclosed that the bandits are demanding the sum of 150 million naira to be raised within 3 days, or the children will be killed. The female judge, who is attached to the Upper Customary Court Sabon Division in Kaduna State, was kidnapped by bandits along with her 4 children on June the 24th this year at their residence in the Mahuta area of Chikun local government in the outskirts of Kaduna metropolis. According to the spokesman of the Kaduna State Police Command, ESP Mansir Hassan, the bandits later killed the woman's 14-year-old eldest son, Victor Gimba, while his corpse was found by police operatives from the Sabon Division at Ungwan Bayero of Dutse village. He adds that the command's anti-kidnapping squad is working with other sister security agencies to apprehend the bandits and rescue the victims. The challenges of food insecurity in Africa has been attributed to economic shock, conflicts, insecurity, and increasing climate change issues, among others. The United Nations Director of World Food Programme, Dr. Hamid Nuru, stated this at the annual lecture of the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Ilorin in Kwara State, where he advocates for various short and long-term solutions.
The university.
It's become an annual ritual for the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to organize lectures on topical issues. And this year the focus is navigating the nexus of food security, safety and diseases, a holistic, sustainable future and economic prosperity.
I am reminded of the profound impact of our profession as on earth, well-being of animals, humans and the environment. Our faculty has a rich legacy of excellence, stands at the foremost of advancing animal health, improving public health, and safeguarding the Earth's ecosystem.
This year's guest lecturer is the United Nations Director of the World Food Programme, who attributes various challenges for food insecurity on the continent to harsh economy, conflict, insecurity, and climate shock.
On average in Africa and in Nigeria in particular, the average person spends more than 65% of their salary buying food, which is a huge amount of money. The acceptable rate is about between 5 and 6%. So 65% just to buy food, it means that there's something fundamentally wrong. And we have to try and see how we can address this. If we look at out of 45 African countries, 13 of them had inflation of more than 10% last year. 6 of them had inflation of more than 30%. One of these countries that we're in right now is one of these. And then 2 of these countries had an inflation of more than 100%. Now for food, this is unacceptable.
To correct the situation, he prefers short and long-term solutions which include increased supply of fertilizers, dedicated financing of food budgets, and attracting youth to embrace modern agriculture.
Africa has to move away from agriculture, which is for agriculture for the stomach, to agriculture for wealth. This is what we need to move towards. We need to reduce pressure on markets by increasing supplies of fertilizers and food and things like that. Do you know how much was spent last year on conflicts globally? 15 trillion US dollars. Trillion, not million. US dollar, not naira, was spent on conflicts globally last year. Buying planes and ammunition and guns and things to kill ourselves. 15 trillion. You only need $3 or $4 trillion to provide water for every village in the whole of Africa.
The Kwara State government also highlights various measures being taken to ensure availability of food for the people.
Our ministry is dedicated to regulating abattoirs and slaughter slabs, conducting pre- and post-mortem inspections, and provision of cooling facilities in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, as well as the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES.
The take-home for the people at the lecture is for government at all levels to embark on agricultural wealth and not for stomach alone, and for individuals to cultivate it in various locations to reduce hunger.
Communities benefiting from the Nigerian Army's Civil Military Cooperation project in Plateau State have been advised to maintain the facilities to ensure they last and serve the people. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, who commissioned several projects across these communities, stated that the aim is to support government efforts in protecting lives and property, promote community development, and improve living standards.
In commemoration of Nigerian Army Day celebration, the Nigerian Army embarked on an infrastructural intervention in some crisis-affected communities of Plateau State. Some of the projects being commissioned in Plateau State include the remodeled Assembly Hall at Government Science College, Wase, House Community Primary School, Riem, motorized borehole in Mangun Central School, and solar-powered boreholes in Bokos and Basa local government areas.
Thank you, sir, for putting smiles on the faces of the people of Mangun district of Mangun local government, as our children will henceforth enjoy high-quality primary education, which remains the foundation of other levels of education in the society. I and the entire traditional council, including the good people of Mangun, will remain eternally grateful for this kind gesture.
Commissioning one of the projects, the Chief of Army Staff, in company of senior military officers and community leaders, in symbolic manner declared the renovated facility ready for usage.
I, Lieutenant General T. Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, hereby commission this rehabilitated block of classrooms, well furnished, the borehole constructed, including the conveniences, at the Central Primary School, Mangu local government area of Plateau State. To the glory of God, the benefit of the pupils that will make use of this facility and the entire humanity. Can we please put our together for the Chief of Army Staff?
The Plateau State government, through Secretary to the Government Architect Samuel Tutau, expressed gratitude to the Army in the fight against insecurity and urged the people to cooperate with security agencies to ensure that peace reigns in the land.
You can see that today what is happening here is a gift from the Nigerian Army being pioneered by one of our own who we are very proud of, General Mutkut. What I would ask our people is that in the midst of crisis, in the midst of problems, we must relate with the security agencies at all times. We must accept them with open arms. And where there are issues, we must go to the leadership. We also have community leaders who can relay our problems to the right quarters. If we do that, there will be a seamless collaboration between the people and the security agencies, and there will be peace.
This year's celebration is being hosted in Jos Plateau State, with the grand finale scheduled to take place at the Maxwell Kogi Cantonment Headquarters of 3 Division.
The governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, has urged stakeholders of the state to join hands in supporting vulnerable people, especially as the economic hardship persists. He made the remark at the second edition of the 2024 Kefi Polo tournament tagged Polo for Orphans, organized by the Kefi Polo Ranch to support orphanages in the state. Our correspondent Halima Gayam reports.
The governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, the state traditional rulers and government functionaries, members of the National Assembly, including the Senate leader, Bamidele Okpeyemi, who is representing the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, attend the closing of the Polo for Orphans tournament organized by the Kefi Polo Ranch. Governor Abdullahi Sule launches the throw-in of the game between Kefi ponies and Malcolmines, whose accruals will be channeled to cater to the needs of orphans in the state. While the equestrian game is played for fun or medals, since 2015, tournaments at the Kefi Polo Ranch are played twice a year to support a social cause, either education development or the care of orphans in Nasarawa State. This second edition of the 2024 tournament is for orphans. Some of them are present, adorned in tops of varying colors.
Giving back to the society, I think there is no better people in the society that one should give attention to than the orphans, because they are very vulnerable and they need all the support, which is why we have been supporting them as a mark of responsibility to make life worth living for them. Initiatives like this must be encouraged and must always be supported, so that the initiatives will remain alive and continue to add the needed and required values.
Governor Abdullahi Sule says the gesture is in line with the policies of the government, as it encourages stakeholders to key in.
Whatever is going to be generated is going to cater for the less privileged among us. It's in line with what our Mr. President has always said, to continue to cater for Nigerians, especially the vulnerable. It's in line with all the support we have continued to give in the country as a country and as a state. We encourage everybody to support in any way possible that they can. This is the line that he has chosen to support, and so many other people will choose other lines to support. And I think this is a wonderful initiative, a wonderful gesture by Ali Wadada.
Polo is acclaimed to be a game of kings and the king of all games, which literally remains one accessible mostly by the rich. With the Kefi Polo Ranch channeling accruals from its annual tournaments to touch the lives of orphans and the less privileged, it is expanding the game to encompass people of all socioeconomic strata, giving the game an impactful posture. Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
When we come back after the break, Kogi State hosts secretaries to state governments of APC-controlled states to a quarterly meeting in Lokoja. We'll bring you details of that after this. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Kogi State government has asked secretaries to the governments of APC-controlled states to be committed to their duties to enable governors achieve the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration. Governor Usman Ododo, who was represented by his deputy, Mr. Joel Oyibo, stated this while declaring open a 2-day quarterly meeting of secretaries to the government of APC-controlled states in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. He described secretaries to the state governments as the engine room of any administration, and saying no governor can record meaningful achievements for the state without the absolute commitment of the secretaries.
Kogi State plays host to secretaries of the state governments in APC-controlled states. The quarterly meeting is aimed to facilitate accelerated human development through policies and programs that can improve quality of life of citizens and assist governors to achieve their developmental agenda.
Your attendance today highlights the importance you place on the shared objectives of progressivism. we are joining forces to forge a new direction, one that will shape our cooperation in advancing the progressive governor's commitment to the renewed hope agenda of the All Progressive Congress, APC. During these challenging times, Nigeria is truly blessed to have this crop of our progressive governors in the helm of affairs in the APC-governed states. Their resolute guidance amidst national and global adversities is commendable, and it is incumbent upon us all to steadfastly support them, offering unwavering support despite these obstacles presented by opposition forces.
Host Secretary Folashade Ayoade explains that one of the hallmarks of APC administration in Kogi State is the prudent management of the scarce resources in ensuring that dividends of democracy are delivered.
I encourage each one of us to engage with open minds and collaborative spirits. Let us draw from our diverse experiences and expertise to forge solutions that will benefit not only our individual states, but benefit our nation. The challenges we face are complex and multifaceted. But by working together, sharing our successes, and learning from our setbacks, we can create a collective impact that drives meaningful change.
Formally opening discussions, Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Joel Oyibo, urges members to ensure they periodically update citizens on government policies and programs.
Please, your commitment to your various states matters most. Your governor will enjoy you and seamlessly achieve a lot without any hinges. Please, today's gathering is just a little child. I want your various states, in your various states, let your governors be happy working with you. Avoid the spirit of betrayers. As you are here, please do your best to promote your principle and keep the secrecy of your office.
Wrapping up the deliberations on the second day, the government secretaries issued a communique which commends the proactive measures taken by progressive governors to ensure the security and well-being of all Nigerians, as they promise to work with relevant authorities on the establishment of state police.
Right about now, we're being joined on the program by the Secretary to the State Government in Kogi State, Mrs. Folashade Ayoade. Great to have you on the program Newsroom series.
Good afternoon. Good to have you.
Yes,
Good
indeed.
Good afternoon, viewers.
Thank you for joining us. Now, tell us more about this meeting of the APC secretaries to state governments in Kogi State and, of course, their outcome, really.
The government of Kogi State hosted a quarterly meeting of secretaries to the government of APC control states, where we deliberated on policies rolled out at the federal level under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it was a very fruitful deliberation. We deliberated on the student loan. We deliberated on the provision of electricity in our different states, while we also deliberated on community policing. Of course, we were able to adopt the federal government's policies, and we looked into how these policies can be domesticated in the APC control states.
All right, interestingly, you talked about some of the things that was looked at as student loans, energy, and perhaps community policing, which, if you can hear me, Mrs. Ayoade. All right, Ms. Ayoade, can you hear me?
Please come again.
All right, yes.
Please come again.
All right, no problem. Very well. Of course, you talked about some of the issues that were discussed at the quarterly meeting there, talking about student loans, energy, and of course, community policing. I want us to focus on community policing at this moment in time. What is the strategy really for forging a common front for state policing or community policing, as you put it?
Yes, we discussed on how we can help our security agencies. Like in Kogi State, we have the vigilante, we have the hunters in which we're using to help boost the efforts of the security agencies, the federal security agencies that we have in the state. And they are doing excellently well in helping and collaborating with them in making sure we have secure states. And we want this to be domesticated and also copied in all the APC control states.
Or how about the student loans? Of course, that is also one of the key areas that the President Bola Tinubu administration is really concerned about. What do you think can be achieved with, or should I say, the role of the SSGs in that regard?
Yes, our role is to make sure that these policies are sold or tabled before our principals so that we can make them know the advantages, and is a welcome policy. It's a policy that we're all excited to domesticate in our different states. Despite the fact that we have the State Scholarship Board, we are looking forward and excited in domesticating these policies, in having our students get loans that can be payable when they get jobs or they have skills that will help them in paying back the loans.
I will certainly leave it at that. Mrs. Folashade Ayoade, thank you so much for your thoughts on Newsroom series.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Have a great day.
Let's move to Niger State now, where the State Commissioner of Police, Shawulu Danmaman, is appealing to farmers and herders to work out a solution for the persistent farmer-herder crisis there. During the stakeholders meeting at the Boso Area Command aimed at finding resolutions, Mr. Danmaman described the situation as a major setback to Nigeria's food security and a concern to rural insecurity in most communities of the state.
It is in furtherance of finding solutions to herder-farmer clashes, youth restiveness, and other sundry crimes that I deem it necessary to move around, to meet the people at their grassroots, to talk to them, to conscientize them on the need to be our brother's keeper. The seasons are here, for instance, rainy season. It starts with this conflict. And all it needs is that all leaders from the both ends must understand themselves, cooperate with each other, share intelligence, and talk to their members, not to take laws into their hands, not to do that is wrong in provoking their neighbor to taking actions against them. And in any case where the frictions are apparent, they should rather call for assistance from security agencies than taking laws into their hands.
And with that, we draw the curtain on the program Newsroom series with our focus on the North Central for today. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde.